That brings us to our next segment, which is called Who's the Imposter? If you've been watching the
Ooh.
show since play-ins, you are familiar with this segment. This is where we pick 5 teams after day 1, maybe a little bit too early, but really it's never too early to prognosticate and to opine. And so here we are. We're going to look at 5 teams after day 1, Tyler, and you will tell us whether they are a contender or they are the
Are they
imposter.
done? Are they done? Are they out of the bubble? Are they imposter? Is their run already over after day 1?
Team number 1, TSM.
Oh, really? You have to start with. Oh, come on.
I'm putting you on the hot seat right away.
All right. So TSM's chances of advancing from the group has drastically gone down after losing to Fnatic. Good news is, I don't think they're outclassed by Fnatic. I think they're very close in skill. As we saw today, very close game, just some better team differences and better decision-making by Fnatic 11. I think individually, they stack up quite well. I think there's positions, if you can push Nemesis on more uncomfortable champions where Bjergsen can get a solo lane kill, or they can put more pressure on the mid lane and win through that win condition than trying to win through broken Flippo, which is a much tougher task. So, yes, I'm disappointed. Yes, I'm a bit saddened about today's game. I think TSM made some crucial mistakes in a winnable game and lost versus a very well-planned, well-strategized Fnatic squad. But they're not the imposter. I still think they have a chance to make it out. I don't think Genji or LGD outclassed them severely either. I think Genji, while they looked good today, that game was also a bit of a fiesta. I actually think that the Fnatic and TSM game was better played, just from a vision perspective, and just an overall game plan from both teams. I think that game was a bit more cleaner, where LGD versus Genji was kind of what you would expect from 2 teams just kind of firing big shots at each other back and forth. And a lot of just like hoping to win a team fight, to win a Baron, or to win a Soul, to kind of just tip the scales. So TSM, I think it's a lot less likely that we could have groups, but it's day 1. There's still 5 more games. They're not the imposter. They're good. They're all right.
I feel like every other player in the game would want to vote TSM out very fast. Like they want to, whether they believe it or not, they want to believe TSM is the imposter, or label them the imposter just to get them out of there as fast as possible, for sure.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Just keep them out. It's like XQC in his lobby. It's like they just want to kick out the most popular player and just laugh at them and see them rage and see all the NA fanboys maul. So yeah, I think there's a big fan contingent outside of North America, even some inside North America that want to see TSM fail, but they haven't fallen yet. They didn't look like they're out of place against Fnatic. So let's just take a game by game. Like 2 days from now, we might be kicking them out of the bubble, but for now, we can just say, do better versus Genji. Better. You need to win versus Genji or LGD, or you're kind of...
Easier said than done, I think.
Yes.
This is a tough one. The next team we're going to talk about, I think this is going to be very difficult. PSG Talon.
Yeah, they're done. Imposter. Kick them out. Vote them out. That's an instant click. I don't even want to hear what they say. They're done. They're done.
I should have quantified. I think I mean tough in terms of their story, because they seem so much better in play-ins than they do in groups, right?
It hurts, but they're done. Like, when you are in a group of JD Gaming and Damwon, and Rogue is a very good team, but you get blown out by Rogue in that manner, that destroyed, that dissected, where it felt like they had no clue what they were doing. I believe they had 0 kills in that game.
16-0.
Yeah, it was a whitewash. There was nothing they could do, and now they have to play JD Gaming, a pissed off JD Gaming tomorrow, and then they have Damwon Gaming. And no offense to PSG, but unless a miracle happens, and not just a mini miracle, a major miracle happens, they're not being Damwon. And maybe JD Gaming just turns out like they are, frauds, and they just are really bad, and they just can't read the current meta. I don't really think that'll happen. I just think they're technically good. Kanavi's too good to kind of fall back in this jungler-centric meta. So PSG, they needed a win versus Rogue. They nearly looked decent versus Rogue. They had to look like TSM, right? Where if PSG lost in the TSM fashion, you could just talk yourself into maybe they could steal a win versus JDG. maybe they could beat, Rogue the next time they play, but they got decimated by the consensus third best team in the group. And with River and Tank looked nowhere near the skill level of Uniboy and Kongwei, so kick them out, throw them out of the bubble. You're the imposter. Sorry, PSG Talon. We were looking for the other PSG. You are the fake one. We want the Uniboy and Kongwei PSG. That's the PSG we really want. You're the imposter.
The funny thing is that people are literally calling them the imposter team. Like they're not the imposter team, they're the actual team, but they prefer the imposter team. It's almost like they want the, you know what I mean? It's like, no, give us the planes. Whoa, what happened with those visas again? No, you know what? They expired somehow. Oh my God, you got to come back, D. You got to come back, Uniboy and Conway.
Yeah.
Poor PSG Town. Still a fantastic story, though, in all seriousness. Just a very unfortunate circumstance and off to a very, very bad start. Rogue going deathless against PSG in game number 1. How about Unicorns of Love?
Oh, this is tough. This is a tough. So they got decimated and just kind of broken down by DRX, who should be second best in that. They still have Top Esports, who is, along with Diamond Gaming, the odds-on favorite. And they have FlyQuest still, who we saw today has a bit of life in a team fighting in a 5v5 straight up, which Unicorns of Love also love to do. Unicorns of Love might not be the better team, so I'm leaning towards imposter, but it's only been one game. PSG I can throw out just because JD Gaming and Damwon are both waiting. Got destroyed by the third best team in the group, or believed to be third best team in the group. So I think it's a we're gonna see. We're gonna give you one more round, Unicorns of Love. But if you we find another dead body next year, we're kicking your butt out of the show. Like, you have one round to kind of prove yourself to be a crewmate, or you're an imposter, and we're throwing you. We're not throwing you. We are jettisoning you outside space.
All right. It's going to be a tough one. We'll see if they're going to be able to rebound after this matchup. I think they were, but in many people's eyes, slated to lose this one, at least in day 1. But let's see. Let's see if the Cinderella run can continue, because if not, PSG Talon, based on what we saw in day 1, Unicorns of Love essentially become the Cinderella team, especially in the way that they made groups. JD Gaming.
Man, is this a real one, Arda? Like, I mean, are they an imposter to win Worlds? I think if you're asking me, are they a true Worlds contender even after blown out by Damwon Gaming? I still think yes. I think you can't look too much into one game, especially when you give Damwon pretty much all of their ace picks and just make it as comfortable as humanly possible for them to roll you. They're not. Yeah, they're too good. They're not the imposter. If they got voted out right now, I would rage quit. If like the rest of the lobby was just like, oh, let's kick them out. They're the imposter. Let's kick them out. They got destroyed by Damwon. It was the biggest blow of the day. I would rage and probably ban everyone in that lobby and I'd never talk to them. So JD Gaming, very, very worrying start. You never want to go into a big match like that in your home country against what could be a finals and just get laughed out of the building. But it's a long road. We have to remember, FPX lost to J-Team in their first game. They got toppled in their first game. They looked very shoddy. And you know what happened? They turned it around. They got first in their group, and they won the world championship. So your first impression isn't always your last impression. So I'm okay with JD Gaming. A bit more worried about my finals pick between Damwon and JD Gaming now, but I still think they're in an okay spot. They should still get out. The Rogue versus JD Gaming game now, though, gets a lot more interesting. Seeing how Rogue killed PSG and how Damwon killed JD Gaming, there's a lot more intrigue in that JD Gaming versus Rogue match.
I think we should ask this question after. We should ask this question after that Rogue versus JD Gaming matchup. I think then we will have a more clear sense on whether or not, or at least a better answer, because I agree. After day 1, I don't think that JD Gaming should have even been on this list. FlyQuest, however, should be on this list. Let's talk about them.
No, very similar to the Unicorns of Love, where I still want to see more. It's no, are they favored to get out of the group? No. DRX should be heavily favored to get out of the group now after seeing them play, especially with how Piotr performed. But we saw the good thing about FlyQuest is that they're a good team fighting team, and if they can get out of the laning phase, if Solo can survive top lane, which I think Doran, while a good player, I don't think he necessarily should run over Solo like 369 did, or should Boss from Unicorns of Love. So let's give it time on FlyQuest. I want to see how they do against Unicorns of Love. If they lose to Unicorns of Love, then we can start kicking them out, because if that you're going down 0-2 and you have DRX still and you're not looking like you're in your best shape, then we can start talking about kicking you out 0-2. Maybe there's no chance of beating out, but 0-1, lost to the tournament favorite, had a few good moments, had blundered plays, but I don't. The only team right now that I'm 100% sure canceling from the bubble and saying there's no chance of them being out is PSG. They're the imposter of this round. If I had to eliminate a team a day, they're the first team eliminated. I just don't see a way of how this team, in this meta where they're much slower paced team with River and Tankin, how they survive against these quick, faster.